A comment and a question from Mr. J. Naidu. He said, beautiful rendition of the state of the world, Brother Bayo. The one thing I have realized is that changing systems is not rocket science. Our biggest challenge is challenging the human being. What does it mean to be African? What does it mean to be human? Because all of our differences are man-made.
I thank my brother Jay Naidu for the question about what it means to be African. I think that there are like a rhizome, like a map, there are different entry points into the conversation about identity. We can start from historical circumstances. We can start from shared visions of the future. We can start from the more biological and the more material and say that I'm connected to this land and to this continent in a way that gives me the permission to lay claim to an African identity. We can speak about geographical conveniences that allows us to say, I was born here or my people come from here, and this is what it means to be African. But there is a sense in which that what it means to be African is also nomadic, also changing over time. Recently, I came to some news that they found, well, not all lost continents are real. Some of them are mythical, but some scientists have discovered that some continents that were supposedly mythical actually existed, and it changes the shape of what Africa looks like then, because this continent that's supposedly missing was part of the African continent. I wonder then that beyond geographical conveniences, beyond the biological, beyond the material, are there other ways in which what it means to be African is changing, is shifting, especially in pandemic times when things are not as clear, or anthropocenic times where things are not as clear as they once used to be? It's the same question we might ask about what it means to be human. That's a dangerously fascinating question, because I don't know what it means to be human these days when we're becoming cyborgian, when we are almost materially connected with our devices. When the first cyborg human being, I think from Europe, has now gained citizenship. He has a light bulb connected to his head, and he's the first approved cyborgian citizen of planet Earth. I don't know what it means to be human in a time when biologists are telling us that we do not think as much as we do from our brains, as much as we do, from our guts, that our guts lay equal claims to being human as much as we do. And if our guts, populated by microbes and viruses and bacteria, are already environmental, then what does it mean to be human then? So maybe I'm not trying to find a new definition. Maybe the question then is, how do we draw new lines in the sand? And what risks are we taking when we draw the line here and say, this is what it means to be African, as opposed to being non-African? And this is what it means to be human, as opposed to being non-human. Over time, white male bodies have become the ideal of the human, and Black bodies have been relegated to the end of the spectrum, right? We're closer to the animal. We're not as human as the humans, like Animal Farm. We're not as close to the precipice or to the top of a pyramid scheme, if you will. And I wonder if I want to stay within this spectrum of being human. Maybe we should abandon the continent of being human and perform new ways of being in the world that does not allocate or tether us to the incarceration of being human. If being human is responsible for the Anthropocene, then maybe we should start trying to be something else.